On November 20th, the national capital was the world's most polluted city with an alarming AQI of 475. Alarmed by the rising air pollution levels in the capital, the BCCI has shifted the U23 one-day knockout matches to Mumbai. The BCCI has asked the Mumbai Cricket Association to prepare to host the matches from November 25th to December 1st. The air quality in New Delhi is likely to further deteriorate in next few days, according to Ministry of Earth Sciences Air Quality Early Warning System. On November 20th, pollution in Delhi was higher than many other highly polluted cities such as Lahore, Tashkent, Dubai and Kabul. One of the biggest reasons for the seasonal onslaught is PM 2.5 that gets trapped in the smog. Experts say the biggest reasons or the sources adding to the air pollution are stubble burning, vehicular emission and industries. The toxic smog enveloping the national capital has severe health ramifications. Children and senior citizens are among the most vulnerable to health issues triggered by air pollution. According to IQA, the world's most polluted cities on November 20th were Delhi, Lahore, Tashkent, Dubai, Kabul, with AQI numbers of 475, 326, 248, 168 and 163 respectively. Let me introduce my guest. I am joined by Vimlendu Jha, environmentalist, and Dr. Radha Goyal, Deputy Director, Indian Pollution Control Association. Thank you both of you. Vimlendu, first to you. I mean to say, what are we not getting right?
So I think, one is that, there's been disproportionate focus only on Delhi and that Delhi's conversation with regard to Delhi's air pollution in that sense has largely been political rather than practical, rather than solution oriented. It's largely been in terms of blaming the previous government or blaming someone else other than the real causes. And therefore, we have been, as in any conversation that has happened in the country in the last 1 decade with regard to air pollution, has been largely 99% limited to Delhi NCR. And despite several data points that we actually have, is that there are more and more polluted cities in the country, more polluted than Delhi. So, when you don't have a political intent, when you really don't have any policy on ground, when you don't have an action plan, other than administrative, bureaucratic bodies like CAQM, bodies like CPCB that do not have, has 50% vacancy, doesn't have technology or human resources, or for that matter, financial resources, this is where we have arrived. As in, rightly said that almost 95% of India's air is actually very, very poor. And this is not, by the way, this conversation happens October to Jan in that sense, but this is not just seasonal air pollution that we're talking about. Throughout the year, India's air quality actually remains around, on an average, around 150 in that sense. There's several data.
So basically, Vimlendu, you're saying that bad air is not seasonal anymore. Dr. Radha Goyal, I think we have graduated to a year-long bad air in Delhi. Is that correct?
Yes, I agree with what Vimlendu has said, because only few days during the monsoon when there is a precipitation, the air quality comes in the good category, AQI. Otherwise, most of the year, whether due to the westerly disturbances or in the summers or whatever. So most of the time it is always above 100 or 150, AQI. So entire year, like if we talk about the 365 days, more than 200 days we face the air qualities in upper, like poor category. So
okay, so Vimlendu, when we talk about bad air, is there something that needs to be done quickly to fix the problem? Is it cars? Is it diesel engines? What do we need to do in Delhi? Because I think this is the longest since I recall that we have had such a long stretch of really bad air.
Yes, Kartikeya. So first of all, we need to really differentiate between good air and bad air. There's not these two categories alone. In fact, when you show 475, that's not bad air. That's hazardous air. It's almost like a biological warfare. So therefore, not every air is just bad air. Bad air is 150 in that sense, or 200 for that.
And we also don't know, because these meters, these meters stop reading them.
Absolutely.
The meters
so
go kaput.
475, you're almost talking about erstwhile Germany situation, sort of a biological a warfare or a chemical warfare. 475 is not a normal number. Now, if you look at what needs to be done, one is to first, even as you rightly said, to even know how big the problem is, and that is where data plays a very, very important role in a scientific scientifically governed society, and in a civilization where we need to have scientific acumen, the first thing that you guard or latch on to is data. And therefore, one thing that we need to start collecting is data, and not just in Delhi, but in entire country. Delhi has the most densely populated, in the sense, most number of air quality monitors. In just 1,500 square kilometer, we have around 39 of them. And the other is that out of these 39 of them, half of them are turned off when the air quality reaches peak levels, hazardous levels, and half of them are actually put in areas which actually has green cover, and half of them are actually sprinkled with water, so that the old school, very stone age understanding of averaging out of AQI numbers gets better, so that your average shows.
You're saying Delhi is witnessing AQI on the higher side? These are conservative AQI figures, 400, 490, 500. Are we witnessing AQI worse than this?
Yes, we are. As in, if you look at the private monitors of many stations, because the government caps it at 500, and they don't even tell you that it doesn't even allow it to reach 500. The private monitors tell you that the AQI in various areas is around 800 to 900. This morning, at least 3 more air quality monitoring apps that I actually noticed. So many areas, at least eight air quality monitoring stations showed readings of around 800 to 900.
Right now, my air quality monitor is saying it's 495 here.
Absolutely. And the government, and just check what the government is telling you right now. So you're breathing not the monitor, you're breathing the air. And therefore, if the air is 495, which is your own monitor inside the studio, I'm very sure, right? Is this the studio reading that you're talking about?
No, I'm in Noida, so it's at 495. The quality of the air where I am is 495. And it is similar to yesterday.
Absolutely. And this is the government air quality monitoring station that you're talking about.
No, this is private. This is private. My point is that there have been times it has shown me 600.
Absolutely. And 800 to 900, it's normal on Diwali night. And we're not even talking about peak times like Diwali night. Forget Diwali for a second. We're talking about last week. The air quality index was 1200 to 1400. When 400 is like almost severe, and 450 plus has severe plus in that sense. And we still don't have a semblance of GRAP 3. We're still stuck at GRAP 3. We don't know when GRAP 4 will happen. Although I'm not a believer of these GRAP measures. GRAP measures came into being primarily.
But there's a great hesitation this time, Dr. Radha Goyal. This time GRAP 4 is not coming into effect. I don't know why. I mean, so is there politics around it?
Yeah, so basically that GRAP 4 itself is having a lot of, the government, the pressure. For GRAP 4, a lot of the activities, especially you talk about when GRAP 4 is there, all the construction activities are totally banned, though it is in the GRAP 3 also, but some government projects, they are into the operations during GRAP 3. But once the GRAP 4 comes, major projects, even they go on hold. So that's what they are always, the conservative figures. Vimlendu rightly said that government monitors, the monitoring stations, they will not show you more than 500. Because they have a limitation of 500. But myself, we have done a lot of monitoring at various stations in Delhi. And we have even recorded the values even more than 900. So in that case, like if GRAP 4 will come, major projects of the government will be on hold, and there will be a lot of financial things involved into this. So
you said 900. There are doctors. Let me play out the bite of a doctor. Doctors are telling us it affects every part of the body, not only lungs, every organ of the body. Let's play out the bite first.
So basically,
let me play out the bite. Let me play out the bite.
पोल्यूशन यहाँ पे अभी बिल्कुल सीवियर और लाइफ थ्रेटनिंग लेवल का है, मैं तो कहूँगा। पिछले 10 साल से यही सिचुएशन चल रही है। हर बार हम लोग कोशिश करते हैं कुछ ना कुछ करने की, बट रियलिटी ऑन द ग्राउंड मुझे तो बहुत ज्यादा चेंज नहीं दिखता। खराब सिचुएशन है, और मैं यही रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा पूरे सिटीजन से, पूरी जो लॉ एनफोर्समेंट एजेंसीज हैं, जो बनाने वाले एजेंसीज हैं, कि एज अ लॉन्ग टर्म, शॉर्ट टर्म, होलिस्टिक अप्रोच लेके दिल्ली में प्रदूषण का कोई ऐसे स्टेप्स ले कि ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम ड्रास्टिक स्टेप्स लेना पड़ेगा। क्योंकि जिस तरह से हम बीमारियां देख रहे हैं, अब वो बीमारियां सिर्फ रेस्पिरेटरी तो है ही हैं, बट अब और डिजीजेस और ऑर्गन्स को भी अफेक्ट कर रही है। तो इसको बहुत अर्जेंट मेजर्स की तरह हमको लेना पड़ेगा।
डॉक्टर राधा गोयल, द डॉक्टर्स आर इन द पैनिक मोड. The doctors are in the panic mode.
So basically, once we talk about this AQI, the parameter which is like there are multiple parameters which decides the AQI. But when we talk about the PM 2.5, which is a very small particle and can travel a long distance. So when we talk about the Delhi's air quality, we have to understand that this particle can travel a long distance, whether we are talking about Punjab, Haryana, or even from Pakistan. So that all that particles get accumulated and sink is in Delhi, like because of this geographic location, it is like that bowl site, and this is because of the Himalayan conditions or Indo-Gangetic plain. So everything gets accumulated here especially during this time of 1 month when the temperature goes down, inversion conditions come, cold weather, so this is like serious concern, even if we talk about the stubble burning and other things, but the pollution which is inside the city, if we talk about dust, resuspension of dust, and the traffic movements itself is contributing to Delhi's air quality. So actually it is PM 2.5. We all know, even doctors we have the evidences that this small tiny particle is having a severe health impacts. Not only respiratory, even the cardiac arrest, even it can goes to your bloodstream, any up to level. So all the toxic air inhaling and the sources are from the fuel burning or stubble burning or whatever. So of course, this is a matter of concern for doctors, the normal people, so we have to seriously take it.
Closing comment from Vimlendu, closing comment from you. I know it has to be a multi-pronged strategy. Do you think that transition to e-platforms, at least for the Delhi, is the way?
I think 50% of the pollution throughout the year, 365 days, is vehicular pollution in Delhi. And also not just in Delhi, we need to start looking at Delhi as Delhi NCT, which means basically Delhi, Gurgaon, Noida, Faridabad and Ghaziabad, because there's so much movement. My first suggestion is that we should actually add 10,000 more buses. Public transport needs to be enhanced and private vehicles needs to be disincentivized. And rather than having a DTC, we should actually have NCTTC, which is National Capital Territory Transport Corporation, so that we equitably look at mobility of the entire 80 lakh people or 80 million people who live here, rather than just restrict ourselves to the national capital, because national capital's air might depend on Lahore, but depends more on perhaps Noida and Ghaziabad.
Absolutely, yeah, that's a brilliant suggestion, and that's the time I have for On Point. I've really run short of it. I have to pass the baton, but the real issue is that air has become unbreathable in Delhi. So this is all I had on Point today. I'll see you at the same time on Monday. Thank you and good night.
खेलता है झूठ